Good morning, everyone. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media only to feel like we're falling behind in life? Or perhaps we catch ourselves measuring our success against someone else's and wonder why we aren't there yet. The struggle we all face, comparing ourselves to others. But what if I told you that this habit is not only unproductive, but it's also robbing you of your potential? Today, we're going to dive into how to stop comparing yourself to others and instead focus on what truly matters, your own journey. In a world that constantly pushes us to keep up with others, it's easy to lose sight of our own progress. But by making a few simple changes, we can break free from this cycle and begin to celebrate our individual growth and successes. So let's explore how to stop looking at others and start focusing on becoming the best version of ourselves. We all have a natural tendency to compare ourselves to others, especially when we see people achieving things we want or think we should have accomplished by now. But the truth is, everyone's journey is unique, and that's something we often forget. When you compare your life to someone else's, you're only seeing a snapshot of their story, not the entire picture. There's so much more happening behind the scenes that you'll never truly understand unless you're walking in their shoes. Think about it. We all have different starting points, different experiences, and different circumstances. The person you admire may have faced challenges that you're not aware of, or perhaps their path was easier in some ways but harder in others. The reality is, you can't possibly know the full scope of what they're going through or how they got to where they are. Comparing your own chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 is never a fair comparison. It's easy to forget that life isn't a race, but rather a personal journey. Your pace doesn't have to match anyone else. The important thing is that you're moving forward at your own speed, whether that's a sprint or a slow and steady walk. It's essential to stop and recognize that your growth is just as valuable as anyone else's, even if it looks different. The goals you're working towards, the things you're learning, and the progress you're making, these are all significant parts of your own story. And in time, they'll come together in a way that only you could have created. Embrace the uniqueness of your journey. Celebrate the small wins and appreciate the lessons that come with every step you take, even if they seem insignificant at first. Overcoming obstacles, making mistakes, and learning along the way all contribute to who you are becoming. And that's the beauty of your individual path. It's entirely yours to shape. Instead of looking to others to gauge your worth or success, focus on what makes your journey special. Find satisfaction in your own progress, and remind yourself that comparing your life to someone else's is only taking away from your ability to appreciate your own growth. We all have our own timelines, and that's exactly how it's meant to be. When we focus on personal growth rather than perfection, we free ourselves from the constant pressure of comparing our achievements to others. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success looks a certain way, that there's a perfect version of ourselves that we need to live up to. But growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every small step you take, every lesson you learn, and every challenge you overcome is a part of your journey that deserves to be celebrated. Think of growth as a continuous process rather than a destination. We often compare ourselves to others and think, I should be further along by now. But in reality, we're all on different paths, at different stages of our own personal development. Instead of striving for some external standard of perfection, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Ask yourself, what can I do today that will help me grow, even if it's just a little bit? Growth isn't always visible or immediate. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments when you make a decision that aligns with your values, when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, or when you learn to bounce back from a setback. These moments may not seem grand, but they are powerful indicators of your personal evolution. Each time you overcome a challenge, you become more resilient, more capable, and more in tune with your own potential. Perfection can be paralyzing. The fear of not being perfect can hold us back from even trying. But the truth is, nobody is perfect, and the idea of perfection is often an illusion. No one's life is flawless, no one's journey is without difficulty. And when we stop chasing perfection, we start to embrace the messy, beautiful, and authentic parts of ourselves. So let go of the idea that you need to be perfect, and instead focus on the growth that happens every day, no matter how small. Celebrate your wins, even if they seem minor, because each step forward is a step toward becoming a better version of yourself. Your journey is yours alone, and your growth is a reflection of the hard work and dedication you put in, not some idealized version of success. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday. In today's world, social media has become a constant presence in our lives. And while it can be a great tool for connection and inspiration, it can also be a breeding ground for unhealthy comparisons. Every time we scroll through our feeds, we're bombarded with images of seemingly perfect lives, vacations, new jobs, fitness transformations, and milestones that can make us feel like we're falling behind. What we forget is that social media is often a curated highlight reel, not the full picture of someone's life. When we expose ourselves to this content on a daily basis, it's easy to start comparing our own behind the scenes to someone else's carefully edited moments. We forget that people typically only post the good, the successful, the exciting, the moments that make their lives appear flawless. What's missing are the struggles, the failures, and the mundane aspects of life that we all face. The truth is, no one's life is as perfect as it seems on social media, no matter how much they might appear to have it all together. That's why it's important to limit your exposure to these platforms and be more mindful of what you consume. If you find that certain accounts or content leave you feeling insecure, inadequate, or jealous, it's okay to unfollow or mute them. Protect your mental well-being by surrounding yourself with content that uplifts and inspires you, rather than feeds into negative comparisons. Curate your social media experience to reflect the things that align with your values and goals, not what makes you feel less than. Take a moment to reflect on why you're using social media in the first place. Are you using it to connect with friends, learn new things, or stay informed? True. Or are you using it as a measure of your own self-worth? If it's the latter, it's time to reconsider how you engage with these platforms. Remember, your self-worth doesn't come from the number of likes or followers you have. It comes from how you see yourself, your values, and your journey. By taking control of your social media experience and consciously limiting the content that triggers comparison, you give yourself the space to focus on what truly matters: your personal growth, your unique path, and the things that genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. One powerful way to shift your mindset and stop comparing yourself to others is by practicing gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in what you don't have or what you haven't yet achieved. But taking time to recognize what you do have can completely transform your perspective. Gratitude is about appreciating the small things, the daily blessings that often go unnoticed. When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, it's easier to stop fixating on what others are doing or what you feel you're missing. Start by incorporating a daily gratitude practice. This doesn't have to be anything complicated. Simply take a moment each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. You could keep a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things that you appreciate, no matter how small they seem. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a kind message from a friend, or the fact that you're healthy and able to pursue your goal. Over time, these moments of appreciation will add up, and you'll begin to see your life through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. The more you focus on gratitude, the less power comparison holds over you. When you're thankful for your own life, for the progress you've made, and for the experiences that have shaped you, you naturally become less focused on what others have or where they are in their journey. Gratitude shifts your attention inward, helping you to recognize the value of your own story. It's also important to remember that gratitude isn't about comparing your situation to someone else's and feeling thankful that you're better off. It's about recognizing your unique circumstances and being appreciative of your own experiences and achievements. When you make gratitude a regular part of your life, you start to feel more content with where you are, and you become less likely to measure your success by someone else's standards. Ultimately, practicing gratitude helps you to cultivate a mindset of fulfillment, reducing the urge to compare. It reminds you that you are enough just as you are, and that the things you already have are more than enough to be grateful for. By focusing on what you're thankful for, you create a foundation of contentment and peace that makes comparisons irrelevant. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in your thinking is to move from competition to collaboration. Instead of viewing the success of others as something to compete with, consider how you can learn from them, celebrate their achievements, and even collaborate to grow together. This mindset not only helps you to stop comparing yourself to others, but it also opens doors to new opportunities for learning and connection. When you see others' success a reflection of what's possible, rather than as a benchmark you need to surpass, you create space for inspiration instead of jealousy. Everyone's success story is unique, and rather than feeling threatened by someone else's achievements, you can appreciate the effort and dedication they've put into their journey. When you make this shift, the success of others becomes a source of motivation, not frustration. Collaboration, whether in the form of sharing ideas, working together on a project, or simply learning from each other, is far more empowering than competition. By embracing the idea that there's enough success to go around, you can start to build meaningful relationships that benefit everyone involved. Think about it. There's so much power in supporting others on their journey, just as you would want others to support you. When we collaborate, we tap into the collective strength of everyone involved, and we all rise together. Rather than seeing yourself as in competition with those around you, shift your focus to what you can offer and how you can grow through connection. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, but also those who challenge you and push you to be better. And most importantly, learn to celebrate their successes just as much as your own. When you shift your perspective, you begin to realize that there's no need to compare, because we're all part of a larger, interconnected community. By embracing collaboration over competition, you not only stop comparing yourself to others, but you also open up a world of opportunities for personal and collective growth. Success isn't a limited resource. It's something that can be shared, celebrated, and built together. And when you focus on that, the need to compare fades away. One of the most effective ways to stop comparing yourself to others is to create and stick to your own personal milestones. Too often, we find ourselves measuring our progress based on external standards, whether it's the achievements of those around us or societal expectations. But the only measure of success that truly matters is the one you set for yourself. By defining your own goals and measuring your progress based on your values and desires, you can shift the focus away from others and toward your own unique journey. Start by asking yourself what you want to achieve. Not what your friends or colleagues have accomplished, not what society tells you is the right path, but what aligns with your personal dreams, values, and passions. Your goals should reflect what's meaningful to you, not someone else's idea of success. When you focus on your own milestones, you create a roadmap that's tailored to your life rather than following a path that was never meant for you. It's important to set goals that are realistic and achievable, but also challenging enough to help you grow. These goals can be big or small, whether it's pursuing a new skill, achieving a certain level of fitness, starting a new project, or simply improving your mental health. Each of these milestones represents a step forward in your personal growth, and the best part, you get to define them. There's no need to compare your progress to anyone else's because your milestones are entirely unique to you. As you begin to set and achieve your own goals, take the time to celebrate your successes no matter how small they might seem. Recognizing your own achievements will help build your confidence and keep you motivated to continue growing. And remember, progress is never linear. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way, but each obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow. The key is to stay focused on your path rather than getting distracted by someone else's journey. By creating and sticking to your own personal milestones, you'll find that comparison loses its hold on you. Instead of measuring your worth by how you stack up against others, you'll begin to see yourself as the measure of your own success. Your journey is yours to shape. And the more you embrace your personal goals, the more empowered you'll feel in your own growth. In conclusion, the journey to stop comparing yourself to others is a process of reclaiming your power and embracing your uniqueness. By understanding that everyone's journey is different, focusing on your personal growth rather than perfection, and limiting your exposure to social media's curated highlights, you can begin to appreciate your own progress. Practicing gratitude helps shift your perspective, reminding you of all the blessings in your life. Instead of competing with others, you can start collaborating and learning from those around you, celebrating their successes as motivation rather than comparison. And finally, by setting your own personal milestones and measuring success by your own standards, you take ownership of your path and create a life that reflects your values and goals. Remember, you are enough as you are. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Your journey is yours alone, and it's filled with endless opportunities for growth, learning, and fulfillment. Stop looking outside yourself for validation and start looking in. Celebrate your progress, embrace your unique path, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be.